Do you remember what it was like to be a child? How everything just seemed so bright and hopeful? I remember being so in love with life when I was younger. And that's not to say that I didn't have my challenges. You know, I was a victim of severe bullying for many, many years. But the dreams that I had for the future were so prevalent. They were just right there in front of my eyes, and they filled me with wonder, and I just knew that life would be so amazing once I got there. But then adulthood hit. And the realities of trying to figure out how to take care of myself and pay my bills and, you know, just get through life hit, and the dream faded. And I didn't believe that I could have what I wanted anymore. I didn't believe it was possible. And then even though I was able to maintain a certain level of hope that maybe one day things could turn around, that has been something that's very, very difficult to actually hold on to. You know, there's so many reasons to give up hope, to give up on your dreams, to not move towards the things that you want, to believe that this is as good as life gets. And it's thoroughly depressing. I don't know how anybody can stand to live like that, honestly. Like, this is absolutely not what I thought adulthood would be like. I remember thinking how, you know, adults had it so great. They could make their own schedules. They could choose how they spent their time. And then you become an adult and you're like, wow, it was so much better as a kid. But I don't think that it has to be. Now, I'm not saying that there's like one best path for everybody. I'm not saying that there's one world that we need to create where everybody has to live the same way and then life will just be awesome, because it won't be. There's still going to be struggles. There's still going to be difficulties. We're still going to aspire toward things. There's still a desire within all of us to achieve something beyond ourselves, to become something more. But what I am saying is that we don't have to force people to struggle to survive. And that's what I'm trying to work on. That's what I'm trying to help people with, because I don't think we need to live in this fashion where you're basically trading all of your time for basic survival. Now, a lot of the problem that we're facing is that money for us is simultaneously survival and status. So people say, well, you have to work your way to get what you want. You know, you have to earn your status, which I think is totally true. You absolutely need to earn status. That is absolutely the case. But what they're not getting is that most of us are trying to earn survival. And when you have a world that's so abundant like we have, that shouldn't be something people need to fight for. Like, I get that people need to strive. I get that people need to earn. I get that people need to become greater, but they don't need to fight to get food on the table. They don't need to struggle to feed their children. They don't need to feel trapped and stuck, like there's no hope of anything better in life. And I'm sure there will be people who disagree with me on this. I'm sure there are people out there who are like, no, you do need to earn your survival. Like, survival of the fittest. You need to be fit and you need to prove your value. And as far as I'm concerned, that's the status thing. Again, you know, if we had the capabilities to where you didn't have to fight a governmental system in order to build your house, I actually think survival would be a lot easier than we tend to think that it is. Growing your own food, not quite that difficult. Building your own house, yeah, maybe kind of a challenge, but you put enough time into it and you could do that too. The problem is you do that in our modern society and somebody comes in, destroys the house that you built and kicks you out. I mean, that's the same thing that homeless people are dealing with all over the place. So we've actually made survival next to impossible unless you follow the system laid out before you. So I don't think that needs to be the case. And I don't think we actually need to take down the old system to make something new that works for us. This is not about overthrowing the government. This is about creating a life together where we decide how we want to live and we work within the system, because there's no need to destroy things. There's no need to fight against people for this kind of lifestyle. So I believe, and I strongly work to create a better life for myself, for my children, and ideally for the rest of the world. But it's obviously not something I can do by myself. I know a better world is out there. I believe there is a world where we can pursue the things we genuinely care about, where we can spend our time doing the work that fills us with passion and joy and excitement. Things that could genuinely move society forward in ways that we can't even dream about right now because we don't have the freedom to actually pursue them. So that's the world I'm aiming at. And I would like help to do that. And the reason for that is because this is not a one-woman job. I want a world where I have friends, people who want to build life with me. Now I'm married, so I have some of my people in my life. But if you have to spend your entire life trying to survive, you don't have time to invest in your relationships. You don't have time to actually build lifelong friendships with people. And that's actually what we need. That's actually what we want. I think everybody wants to have those close friends that they can spend their life with on top of, just their spouse and their children or whatever. So what's stopping us, what's getting in our way is that we continue to fight this alone. We continue to try to build up our lives ourselves because we don't believe that somebody else actually cares enough to create something better with us, actually cares enough to invest into a collective effort, cares enough to create a community where we actually all work together, cares enough that they're open to actually working through the difficulties and the struggles of a relationship, to push through the fights and the disagreements to come to conclusions and make decisions based upon what everybody wants most, I'm not going to say that it's perfect. It obviously won't be, but that's ultimately, I think, what we all want and would benefit from. We want to have people who care. We want to have people who want to spend their time with us, and we want to have the freedom to actually invest in those relationships and pursue the things that we care about. So that's not as crazy of an idea as you might think. Now, I know that it's not going to be easy. There are certainly going to be challenges figuring out even how to build like a mall type structure for everybody to live in. That's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of money. We've got to figure out how to earn that money, how to bring that money in so that we can reinvest it. That's a problem that we have to overcome. But there are ways to go about that. And if you've got more people doing that, more people investing in that creation aspect, it becomes a lot easier because then it's not just on me or you or that guy. We don't have to all do this by ourselves. So the risks are pretty minimal as long as we're willing to actually invest in something, as long as we're willing to actually build something. I don't think it's going to be as hard as we think. And I know how difficult it is to feel this depressiveness, to feel this hopelessness, to feel like there is no better life out there waiting for us. But I don't think it's going to take that long either. My husband and I, we work in a network marketing company, and I'm not going to tell anybody that they have to build a network marketing business if they want to earn money. I do think it is one of the best ways to actually go about building income and building it rapidly. So it's definitely what I would encourage people to do. But even building that business, the projections for how long it takes to succeed is like 2 to 5 years. And if you utilize the power of the internet, that amount could actually decrease substantially. And then if you've got 10 people doing that, now you've got 10 multi-million-dollar businesses, assuming you build them up that big, all investing into a project where we're creating a better life for not only ourselves, but for the other people that we care about, for people who share our ideals and our values, because ultimately that is what life should be, where we're pursuing the things that matter to us, where we're living our lives based upon our values and our passions, moving forward, not just surviving. It's time now for us to thrive. It's time now for humans to step beyond getting by it's not necessary anymore. It's not as difficult to get out of as one might think. So I know that it could be a while. It could be a 5 or 10-year project. It could require some hiccups and bumps in the road and digging ourselves out of some holes. But as long as we keep pushing forward, we can absolutely get there. We can create this world, we can create this life, and we can have that dream. So I'm looking for the people who share my dream, who want to work with me, who want to build a life with me and my family, who want to grow a community that genuinely cares about each other. They want to create a space where we invest in our relationships and we have the freedom to do so, because ultimately that's what matters from my perspective. You know, the people in your life, they matter more than pretty much anything else. Any value you find in life is almost entirely based upon the people that you serve in the process. So I know that it's really easy to choose the comfort of the moment over the long-term plan. And the tendency is to say, well, I don't have the time for that. I don't have the energy to put into that. But if you genuinely care about something, if you genuinely want a better life, you're going to be willing to make that sacrifice. And I know that I am. And I know that it's going to be difficult. But I know we can get there. And I'm just seeing who wants to come with me. So make sure to reach out and let's start building this thing.